Happy Sunday, everybody. Welcome into the first Arkansas football recruiting report with Otis Kirk of 2024. I'm Evan Kamiko. That's Otis Kirk. Otis, let's hop right into it. A big day for Sam Pittman in the portal-wise, elevating the transfer class and the signee class by a lot. And the biggest pickup yesterday or a couple days ago was Anton Jukajo, a defensive end who is an absolute monster out of Albany.
Yeah, people wondered about his size. Let me tell you something. And some wonder from where he's from, but let me tell you, this kid is 6'3", 275. He's from the same college that produced the kid at Florida State, Jared Verse, who may be the best defensive player in the nation. So least of your worries should be about Anton. He had 55 tackles, 34 unassisted, 21 and a half tackles for loss, 15 sacks, 3 pass breakups, and forced 5 fumbles. But here's the deal, Evan. I mean, I don't care which level they're from. What I look for when I go out or when I'm looking at film or when I go, I mean, obviously I haven't gone to Albany, but when I go watch a kid or when I watch film, I look to see if they dominated. It doesn't matter what level they're at. They need to dominate that level because they probably got teammates that are similar to who they're playing. But they need to dominate if they're going to go to a higher level. So that's what I look. And Anton's definitely dominated, just like Jared Verse did. But no, I mean, that's a great pickup for Arkansas. They beat A&M, they beat Syracuse, they beat Arizona. He visited A&M, then came to Arkansas, signed on that Friday, and canceled Arizona and Syracuse. So I don't. The least of your problems should be worrying about Anton because that kid is a big time. You put him at end opposite Landon Jackson, and you roll. That's how it works. And and for the people thinking, like I said, Jared Verse is listed at 260 right now. This kid's 275, and he benches over 400, well over 400 pounds. So that was a great pickup, man.
Yeah, let's move on. Let's talk about another player, Marquise Robinson. What do you have on him?
6'2", 195, South Alabama. They went to Oklahoma State in the Stillwater and won 33-7 last year. Marquise is one of my favorite recruits. Great kid, man. Great. His dad, Lee, great person. Just good people, man. And not like he's legit 6'2", 195. The South Alabama website had him listed 6'1" at 184. And when I saw him, I said, I know that's not right, He had 36 tackles, 21 solo, 2.5 for loss, 1 fumble recovery, 3 interceptions, and 3 pass breakups. They beat several, including Oklahoma State, to get him. Marquise is a kid that can come in and, well, these are all the players we're going to talk about today are impact type players, so I shouldn't say he can come in and impact. He will come in and impact, but he'll get another chance at Oklahoma State too. They play them in September with Arkansas, and I'm sure he's hoping for. Well, I know he's hoping for a similar result. But that was another good pickup. You put him with Danico Slaughter from Tennessee, and you're fixing the secondary a little bit there. So I like that pickup. I like that a lot. Like I said, got to know him. He committed to me on Thursday, then went public with it on Friday. One of my favorite kids, and I really liked. I like Marquise. He's going to help Arkansas.
And how about Jaquindon Jackson, a big pickup, a running back out of Utah?
Yeah, he's a 4-star. He played quarterback at Duncanville, and it was. Some people thought he was the best quarterback in Texas till he tore his ACL, and he went to Utah because they promised him he could get a chance at quarterback, and they gave him the chance. But ultimately, 6'2", 228. Ultimately, they moved him to running back on the 4th week of the 2022 season, and that's where he stuck. Last year, he had 161 carries, 797 yards, 4 touchdowns, 9 receptions, 53 yards. There you go. You lose Rocket Sanders, you lose A.J. Green, you go get Braylon Russell, you go get Jaquindon Jackson. So you're replacing what you lost, and possibly, we'll see how well it works, but I think it'll work well. But he's a big kid, just like Braylon. That room's big. Those are big running backs. And so, and Rocket was big, obviously. But Jaquindon is somebody that can come in very, very, and, for the older fans out here to watch this, I think of Dan Reeves that used to play for the Dallas Cowboys and do that halfback pass. And man, that was amazing when he played for the Cowboys. And they would flip the ball, quarterback, whoever it was, whoever would flip the ball to Dan. He'd be running, and then all of a sudden he'd come up and throw the pass. And that's what I think they'll do with Jaquindon, because Bobby Petrino's the best play caller in college football. And I think he will use Jaquindon very well. Jimmy Smith's obviously a great running back coach. But Bobby will get creative with the play calling, and I look for them to use the halfback pass some with Jaquindon.
Yeah, and last but not least, let's talk about Jordan Anthony, another big pickup for the Hawks.
Go back to Petrino on this one. People question they had 3 catches for 14 yards last year, but this is a completely an upside deal, Evan. It's a completely an upside projection. Nobody saw the kid more than Bobby Petrino. He saw him in the spring. He saw him in the fall. He saw him at practice every day. So Bobby knows what he's getting. He didn't have to take this kid. They had other options. But he's a sprinter who will help the track team. But Bobby is betting on an upside here. And he's good at that. He's good at projecting guys like maybe Javante Herndon and kids that maybe some people thought, well, I quit, and turned out to be very good receivers. And Javante was a lot better than his. He was ranked well, but he was even better than that. And Bobby saw it. Here's what, but they're getting a kid, a very fast player, Jordan Anthony, who can run, can catch the ball. And like I said, you might question this pickup if it wasn't for Bobby Petrino saw him at practice every day, liked what he saw, and he took the kid, and he didn't have to do that. So that's an upside pick. Projecting upside can go either way. It could work or it may not work, but that's true of every recruit. So, with Bobby Petrino seeing him every day and knowing what he's getting, I'll take the pick. I think it's a good pickup in that sense because it's an upside deal. How it works out, we'll see. Somebody might convince me it's great. I'm not trying to convince anybody. Any of these are great pickups. But I'm just saying he has a good upside, and Bobby sees it and thinks it, and he's betting on that upside. And if it turns out Arkansas could get a speedy receiver, the kid was a 4-star in high school. So somebody liked him. He was a 4-star in high school. Went to Kentucky for a year, then transferred to A&M. So we'll see how it works out. But the one person who would know more about him probably than just about anybody is Bobby Petrino. So I'll take his word on this one.
And yeah, so I think a big thing as well is now, all the portal's pretty cold right now. Nothing's going to happen for a while. The next time the portal actually opens is again after spring ball. So what's going to happen in between now and spring ball? What do you expect are the remaining options out there for Sam Pittman and company to maybe add in a few guys? Probably, like we've said, linebacker is my guess of where they're going to go. But what do you think is going to happen on the remaining options for Arkansas?
Yeah, right now they've still got 3 options for midterm, and that's Miguel Mitchell, a safety from Florida, 6'1", 215. Left here, he went to Memphis, left here Friday, went to Tulane, and going to visit LSU. 6'1", 215 safety. 2 linemen, though, 2 offensive linemen. They'd love to get one of those kids. Micah Moscata from Florida is a 6'5", 325-pound interior offensive lineman who played for Eric Mateus 3 years, I believe, at Baylor, 1 year at Florida. He played at Florida 1 year then, and now Mateus is trying to get him back. I think it was 3 years at Baylor with Eric. Moscata was here, left Thursday evening. Percy Lewis is from Mississippi State, 6'8", 350, offensive tackle. Was here, left, and was going to go to Ole Miss, and he and Ole Miss had some things go crooked there. So he ended up, or I shouldn't say crooked, I don't want to sound like they got crossways is what happened. And so he ended up visiting Auburn instead, who he's going to cancel. But now it's down to Arkansas and Auburn. He's 6'8", 350. Obviously a kid that could be you could plug in there at 6'8", 350 at offensive tackle. As far as what I think they'll do after spring ball, I think there's 2 positions. They'll hit more, but 2 positions they're going to try to fill in the after spring is linebacker, as you said. Definitely got to get another linebacker or 2, and then defensive tackle, interior defensive lineman. Isaiah Rakes, who I'd written was going to visit, ended up visiting Auburn, canceling Arkansas, so that he didn't come in, and they didn't bring anybody else in this weekend. So I think try to get one or 2 of these offensive linemen. I don't know Mitchell, how bad they want him, since they've already gotten cornerback. Bobby. I mean, Sam Pittman on December 20th said that he talked about the 8 scholarships. Well, he talked about a need at cornerback, a need at linebacker, a need at interior defensive line, a need at edge, a need at wide receiver, and a need at running back. Well, he got the running back, he got the wide receiver, he got he's got the edge, and he got the cornerback, Marquise Robinson. So that leaves you linebacker and interior defensive line is really the priorities after spring ball. Because I don't think they're going to fill those before then. They could, but I don't think they will, Evan, because they don't really have anybody visiting. Well, they didn't have anybody visiting that fits those positions. So I don't think you'll see anybody unless they sneak someone in next weekend that plays one of those positions. But I think if there'd have been somebody that they really wanted, they'd have probably brought them in this weekend. But you never know. I mean, so we'll see. But I mean, they could still possibly bring one of those. But that's linebacker and defensive tackle are the 2 big needs still, and one more interior offensive lineman. Although Percy Lewis is a tackle, but they would take him too if he wanted to come for sure.
And yeah, last but not least, I mean, you look at the transfer class and the rankings of the players coming in. You're number 11 in the nation and number 4 in the SEC. We knew there was a lot of holes that Sam Pittman and company needed to fill. They did a really good job, in my opinion, on filling a lot of these holes. Obviously, there's still more, and who knows? Just because you're rated top in the country doesn't mean you're going to end up being top in the country. But what's your overall takeaway on how Sam Pittman did when it came to attacking the portals and keeping a lot of the high school recruiting class through Kenny Guyton leaving and Bobby Petrino coming in and all of these external factors?
What I like about what Pittman has done is he got a good high school class. You see, like Prime at Colorado's got a number 2 portal class, but he's like 106 or something in high school, but he'll do fine with that. But he's going after what he needed, so that's not a shot at Prime. But what I'm saying is, I like the way Sam balanced it out between high school kids and portal kids. And I believe somebody said Arkansas was 26th in high school the other night. I imagine that's with one service. I don't know where they're ranked with all the services. I haven't noticed. But I do know they moved up to 11th in the portal after that big day on Friday. Ole Miss is number 1. They got Pooh and them sitting down there. They're number 1 in the nation. A&M, I believe, is 3. And South Carolina's 9, if I'm not mistaken. And then Arkansas 11. So, but yeah, I think it's great how Sam got his needs out of the portal, but will also did not ignore the high school classes. He got some impact players like Charleston Collins, Kevion Henderson. They got impact players, Braylon Russell. They got some impact players out of high school too that will impact not just these high school guys. I mean, portal guys.
Well, Otis, anything else you got to say before we go? Anything we may have missed this week, or what you're looking forward to as the class starts coming in and all the guys get on campus in the next week?
January the 12th is when they report, Evan. January the 12th is the reporting date. That's next Friday, or this coming Friday, I guess now it is. Friday, you will see these kids on campus. They'll go through spring. And by the way, they've got 20 all but 3 of the high school kids are coming in at midterm, of the kids who signed, all but 3. And all 12 of the portal kids are coming at midterm. So that's a lot of new players going to be on campus come Friday. So we'll get to see a lot. I think the team next spring, this coming spring, I think we can see pretty much what we expect in the fall.
Hey, that's all that matters. But that's going to do it for us this week for the Arkansas Football Recruiting Report. That's Otis Kirk. I'm Evan Kamiko. And thank you all who listened. And we were having some technical difficulties and still are throughout the entire thing. So if this sounds a little weird, if it sounds funky, just know it's an abnormality and we'll be back to normal as soon as we can. But we thank you for listening every week. And that's going to do it. We'll see you right here next week.